Coming up on State of Events, we'll be taking a look at the anti-government protest in Iran. This is spreading across the nation.
And San Francisco State faces a new mask policy along with a new building in the works for all things science here on campus.
State of Events starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to State of Events. I'm Erykah Rodriguez.
And I'm Sophia Bruinsma.
Francisco State received a big chance to its masking policy on campus. As of State of Events, Sophia Villalba has more on the story.
That's right, Erykah. Students at SF State had been required to wear face coverings since the start of the pandemic. But this semester, a new change has occurred that will have campus life almost back to normal. The public university has voted to lift the mask mandate policy ahead of Labor Day. Students have since returned to campus with the option of not having to wear a face covering. Some students say they agree with the school's latest decision.
I think SF State is doing a good job with mask mandates because we could leave the COVID era behind and we could be more progressive and feel back to normal.
The board, who is in charge of deciding mask mandate policies for the university, consists of faculty, staff, and students. Although masking up at SF State is now an option, some are still choosing to lower their risk of contracting COVID-19.
Like outside and stuff, I think it kind of helps people be more comfortable around each other because there are still going to be people who test positive but don't say anything because they don't have symptoms, right? So they're going to come to school without their mask and potentially harm others.
The new policy only applies to those who are fully vaccinated with at least one booster shot. Some students say it is up to each student to decide their own way of going about masking up.
As long as some people are still allowed to wear masks, I'm pretty okay with that. You know, I like to wear it comfortably, and I just kind of got used to wearing it.
The mask policy coincided with the level tier the city of San Francisco is currently at for the rate of COVID transmission. If COVID cases rise and the city of San Francisco is not in the low tier for COVID transmission, SF State will re-implement the mandatory mask policy. This is the first time the university has lifted their mask mandate policy since COVID-19 began. However, the school still strongly recommends face coverings. Currently, San Francisco remains in the low tier for COVID transmission. In San Francisco, Sophia Villalba, State of Events.
Sophia, how are students reacting to this update?
Well, Erykah, most students that I spoke to have a general mood of wanting to be done with the pandemic and therefore glad that they don't have to wear masks anymore, but some students are going to continue wearing them, so it's a general mix of both.
Thanks, Sophia.
San Francisco State announced their decision to expand campus housing for freshman students. The 2024 campus project will provide 750 beds along with new dining areas and health commons. Upperclassmen expressed criticism on social media about their struggles to find housing, as only 3 out of 8 of the proposed residences allow upperclassmen.
Future students interested in the STEM industry can look forward to a new science building in the works at SF State. SF State of Events, Nasu Nguyen has more with the story.
That is right, Erykah. Now, I don't know about you, but I've been hearing a lot of construction sounds every time I walk on campus. So I took it upon myself to see what the noise is all about. Students wandering around campus may have come across some major construction. SF State is planning a new Science and Engineering Innovation Center. The $175 million project aims to provide state-of-the-art technology for the program. Serving as a highly visible main entrance from 19th Avenue, the building is looking to brand the College of Science and Engineering as a major outlet of Bay Area STEM study. Genentech was the biggest donor for the new building, with over $10 million. It is expected to serve over 7,000 STEM students each year.
You should be able to accommodate quite a bit more students on this building. So I imagine larger classes, maybe more classes. That way, students don't have such a hassle to register for science classes.
This marks 50 years since the last construction of a STEM building at the university. The SEIC will be a 125 square foot building. The university hopes that the building will spark more engagement with students from all majors, not just those studying science.
I'm a Beck major and we got a new building, Marcus Hall, and I love it. I love that it's all new, everything's new, new facility, new equipment. It just brings the excitement to the students and it'll engage them to learn. So I think they'll love it.
The Innovation Center is designed to achieve leadership in energy and environmental design, including a 100% all-electric building and a 20% reduction in storm runoff water. The Science and Engineering Department is excited for the new possibilities that the building will offer.
We've been working really hard on the fundraising side to make sure that we're not going to be taking a bunch of old equipment from this building and putting it into the new building, that we're really going to bring state-of-the-art equipment that will mirror the type of equipment that students will see when they go into industry. A lot like Marcus Hall. So we want the students to be working with the equipment that they anticipate engaging in once they graduate, and that's our hope for this new building.
Now, the Innovation Center is expected for completion in 2024. The university says they are confident that the building will meet the workforce needs of Bay Area STEM industries. Reporting in San Francisco, Nasu Nguyen, State of Events.
Nasu, what have the students' response been about this new project?
Well, Erykah, it seems like the students are always excited for new advancements to the university. And I can say that students who get to use this building in the future will be very appreciative of what it has to offer.
Thanks, Nasu.
Hurricane Ian is taking aim and Florida is bracing. The powerful storm is expected to get stronger over the next few days. Hurricane Ian is still on track to be the first major hurricane to make landfall in the U.S. after slamming into Cuba last Tuesday. It is now expected to bring a life-threatening storm surge to Florida's west coast. And for the first time in more than 100 years, Tampa could be a direct hit.
Coming up after the break, a celebration is on for Hispanic Heritage Month.
And like a scene out of Armageddon, a successful mission from NASA. So stick around.
As you go about your daily life, look closer. As you gather with family and friends who love and support you, look closer. There are youth right in your community who don't have the home, warmth, and healing you have. So look closer. Every year across America, a staggering 4.2 million youth are homeless or trafficked. And for 50 years, Covenant House has worked relentlessly to keep them safe and protected. Tonight, 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed. And tomorrow, they will wake up surrounded by love. They get clean clothes, hot meals, medical care, and a safe place to sleep. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In sites across America to help them fulfill the great promise of their lives. So look closer at Covenant House. To help or get help, go to covenanthouse.org.
Welcome back to State of Events. In international news, anti-government protests continue in Iran despite a security crackdown. Demonstrations and acts of solidarity are spreading around the world. Jomana Kradsha has more.
It appeared on Sunday like the Iranian government was still mobilizing the masses. Crowds of its supporters taking to the streets of the capital, Tehran, and other cities in these pro-government rallies. Crowds estimated in the hundreds of thousands, according to state media. They were out to show unity and outrage against what they describe as these acts of sabotage by those they referred to as the rioters, in reference, of course, to the protesters, dismissing what the world has been seeing going on in Iran as the works of a handful of mercenaries serving foreign enemies, they say, forcefully removing the headscarves of women on the streets. Of course, the world has seen those remarkable images, the video of those acts of defiance by women in Iran in recent days, removing their headscarves, the headscarves they've been forced to wear for decades, burning them, cutting their hair in public. We have seen this young generation of Iranians rising up on the streets demanding freedoms and rights that they have never had. But it appears that the government is continuing to dismiss what is going on as a foreign conspiracy to destabilize the Islamic Republic. We have heard President Ibrahim Raisi on Saturday saying that they must be dealt with decisively. Statements, indications from the Army and the Revolutionary Guard Corps that they are ready to intervene in the crackdown also and to try and crush these protests. It's very difficult for us to assess what is really going on the ground in Iran, what the casualty toll is of this ongoing crackdown. But according to estimates from various groups, including human rights organizations and state media, they say that dozens have so far lost their lives in the country. Amnesty International saying that authorities have opened fire, live rounds, deliberately and directly at protesters. State media, also the government, saying that a number of the security apparatus have also been killed in recent days. And according to state media, more than 1,000 people have been detained so far. It is very difficult for us to know what is going on the ground in Iran in real time, because the government is continuing to restrict the internet and to block social media platforms. So it's very hard to assess how big, how widespread the protests still are. But on Sunday, despite the restrictions on the internet, we began to see video emerge of protesters back out on the streets. With nightfall, more defiant protesters back out in the capital, Tehran, and other cities, chanting the now familiar slogans, "Death to the dictator," and "We are all together, we must not be afraid." Jumana Karachi, CNN, Istanbul.
NASA just crashed its own spacecraft into an asteroid on purpose. If it sounds like a plot of a blockbuster movie, you're right. An end-of-the-world scene, this crash wasn't movie magic or make-believe. The intentional crash happened Monday to test planetary defense strategies and could one day save the planet. And it's more likely that this crash will happen and be successful.
Heritage Month starts from September 15 and runs to October 15. It's annual celebration of the historic and culture of the U.S. Latinx and Hispanic communities. Celebrated Hispanic Americans in the armed force through the U.S. history of September 24. The event included special displays, guest speakers, exhibits, and open cockpits.
Mom and Dad is still on us. The importance of having
To learn more, follow them on Instagram at USS Hornet Museum. Coming up after the break, you might receive a little extra cash for the extra gallon of gas.
And a nail biter for the 49ers and Broncos, so don't go away.
Anticipate potential delays for the morning commute. In other news, a recent government report on prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know.
What are you talking about, man? Look at this stats.
It's about your right to be informed. Your right to access all types of information keeps us free as a nation.
No.
Today, there are real threats to press freedom.
Residential areas by...
And your right to know about the world around us.
Look.
Some threats are obvious, some are easy to miss, but they all put our way of life at risk. We must defend against all of these threats, no matter what kind of news is important to you.
Justified putting American troops in harm's way?
That's a great question.
We must protect our right to know before it's too late. Understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
Welcome back to State of Events. You might have noticed the numbers going up at your gas pump, but the good news is California will be issuing a gas refund. The $10 billion tax refund will provide a one-time payment of up to $1,050. To be eligible, you must have filed your 2020 tax returns by last October and make less than $150,000 per year. Those eligible should receive their payment sometime between October and January, either by direct deposit or debit card. Last week, the Niners took a dub against the Seahawks. But this past Sunday, things were not looking so pretty.
And the San Francisco
With Trey Lance out and injured, many were hoping to see Jimmy G pull the team together. Unfortunately, this Sunday proved otherwise. Garoppolo blames his inaccurate throws and rusty performance on his lack of training in the offseason and preseason. A final score of 11-10 leaves fans wondering what is really in store for the team this season.
Must be an NFL on the brain. Pop icon Rihanna will perform at next year's Super Bowl halftime show, the NFL announced Sunday. The news comes after both Rihanna and the NFL tweeted a picture of the musician's hand holding a football Sunday afternoon, sparking speculation that she will be the halftime performer. The 57th Super Bowl will take place on February 12, 2023, at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona.
Well, I'm just super excited to see Rihanna. I'm such a big fan. I just haven't listened to any of her music in a while, and I'm just really wondering what type of hits she's gonna perform.
I know she's been off for so many years. I'm really excited to see her perform.
Me too. Can't wait.
That's all we have for you this time. Thanks for joining us.
And don't forget to subscribe to our State of Events channel on YouTube.
For State of Events, I'm Erykah Rodriguez.
And I'm Sophia Bruinsma. Have a great day.